So we are going to learn about TestNG today, and TestNG is nothing but your test automation, or you can say unit testing framework. Okay, so TestNG stands for Test Next Generation, and it's a unit testing framework. As in, we have for .NET we have NUnit. Okay, similar for Java we have TestNG. Earlier we were using JUnit, but then TestNG is having more options and advanced annotations in it. Okay, it is created by a person called as Cedric Busset. Okay, Busset. He is the creator of this test engine. He's part of Google team. Okay, so we will be using annotations instead of main method. So up till now you have seen that we were using main method of Java, and in that main method we were writing the code, entire code, right? But now we are going to use annotations. So how annotations is to be written? This particular way, at the rate and the annotation name. So this particular annotation is used for writing a test case or logic. Okay, whatever be your test case, you have to write inside this at the rate test annotation, and there will be a method associated with each and every annotation. Okay, so say for example you are having this at the rate test, and this is your method, the check login functionality. I want to check the login functionality. This is a test case. So this is the method which is associated with this annotation, and the method block will be containing the logic to check the login functionality. Okay, so each and every annotation will have a method associated with that particular annotation. Okay, and then that particular, so over here see, earlier the main method used to execute first, isn't it, in case of Java? But now, based on the annotation name, okay, execution flow will be decided. So they have like predefined the flow or way of execution. Okay, it all depends on the annotation. So this is the one example. I'll explain you this one by one. Okay, so first of all, what we need to do, we need to first add TestNG jars, or you can say TestNG dependency. Okay, dependency in our form.xml file. This is the very first step. Okay, so just go and search over here in Maven repository for TestNG. So you can see TestNG is mentioned over here. Just select it, and which one we can go with? Let's go with this one, 770. Okay, let's copy this and paste it in our pom.xml file. Okay, this one. Let's go and paste it over there. Fine. So it has been added. It would be added in your Maven dependencies. You can confirm that also. See TestNG 707.jar. Okay, that is added. Fine. Now let me close all of these. Fine. Now when you go to your package, you have to right click on your package. So earlier we used to select new and then simply Java class. Okay, but now you have to select TestNG and then create TestNG class. Okay, right click on the package, TestNG, and create TestNG class. So by default it is giving you class name as new test. I'll say it as payment. Okay, let's go with payment name. So payment is the class name, and it will contain all your test cases related to payment, like check valid card, valid debit card, check invalid debit card, check valid credit card, debit invalid credit card. Those will be your test cases. Okay, these are some of the annotations which are already there. Okay, we will learn one by one each of them, and then we will go to your XML suite file. That also we will learn. This is all very much simple. Okay, don't get worried as of now, because it's lot of information for you, but slowly and gradually you will understand this part. Okay, right now we'll just create a simple class, that is payment, and click on finish. So it's a simple normal class which will get created, and you will see this @test is coming by default with a method public void f. Okay, f is like a default method it has created and associated with @test. Okay, we can change it. We can say check valid, or you can say check debit card. Right now we'll say check debit card function. Okay, over here sys out code to check debit card functionality. Okay, simply like this way. We can have another test case, so we'll say @test, and then I'll say public void check credit card. Okay, and then I'll say sys out code to check credit card functionality. Right now logic is not very much important for me. Right now I need to make you explain the functional flow of these annotations. Okay, so first of all we'll go with understanding of @test, which we have understood that this is used for writing test cases. Okay, @test is used for writing test cases. Okay, sure. Now we will run this code, and because we have okay, please check GNL. Probably this is something related to my TestNG only. Okay, let me change the version and go back and change the version. This is the problem we face. Mm, this is 2018, 1920. Let's go with this one. 740. Okay, 740. Let's change that. So it could be related to compatibility issue. I'll change it to 7. Okay, okay. And now let's run this code again. Fine. So it detected TestNG. Still we are getting this error. Okay. That is 7. Change it to 7. Oh. Okay. Now it got successfully executed, and you can see code to check debit card functionality passed. Check debit card. Why this didn't work? Check credit card functionality. Why this didn't work? At the rate test. This should also run successfully, right? Yeah. So both of the tests run, right? So code to check credit card functionality and debit card functionality, both the test cases that got executed. Because see, we have only used a sys out, okay, print statement. That's the reason it has printed this particular line, credit card and debit card. And you can see passed as a status for the method name. This is the method name. In front of that, you can see passed. Why it is passed? Because your method got successfully executed. There is nothing, no logic in that, only just a simple print statement, and it got executed successfully. So that is the reason it said passed. In case you would have got an exception or an assertion error, this would have been failed. Okay. And one more thing you can notice, we have written at the rate test, and this method is next. Okay. Earlier we have written debit card, and then the method credit card is next to that. But execution wise, you can see it executed credit card first and then debit card. So the reason is simple. It executed alphabetical order wise. Okay. Credit card C and then debit card D. Okay, that way. So this initial portion is same, right? So because of alphabetical order, it ran first. Say for example, if we want to run in this order only, in that case, we can just give a parameter as priority equals 1. Simple. And we can make control C, control V, we can make the priority of this to. Now if you execute it, see total test run are 2, and now it ran debit card first and then credit card. So with the help of this debit card, this priority equals 1 parameter, we can make a particular function run first. Okay. Now what if you want to make that before debit card, okay, we need a particular product to get added to the cart also, right? So I will say public void add to cart. Okay, add to cart. We are adding product to the cart. So I will say sys out code to add product to cart, and then only your debit card, then only you can do payment. And after payment, okay, you should say public void uh, capture, yeah, or you can say order ID generated, right? So order ID generation, you want to check that order ID generation part. Okay, so code to check order ID, okay, generation, or you want to capture the order ID, right? So first of all, what you want the product to get added to the cart, then you want to do the payment, then you want your order ID to be generated. Again, you want your product to get added to the cart, then you want to do the payment using credit card, and then again order ID generated. So in this case, what is our objective? This method should get executed before this method, also before this method always, and similarly this method should get executed after this method as well as after this method. So it should get executed twice, and this should also get executed twice. For that, they have given an annotation called as at the rate before method. Okay, and over here you have to write at the rate after method. Simple. Okay, this way. So what this will do, before method will run this code first, then this code is going to get executed, then after method this method going to get executed. Okay, let's see, let's run this program and see what happens. See, code to add product to the card, then code to check debit card functionality, so debit card payment got executed, then order ID generation part, again product to add product to card, payment with credit card, order ID generated, and both the tests got successfully executed, right? So if you want any particular method or functionality to run before your test cases, before your test case method, then you should write that particular method inside before method. And if you want anything to run after that test case, then after method. Okay, this is the first thing. So if you see this notepad, this is at the rate test case 1 debit card, before method add to card, and then order ID captured. Similarly, before method add to card, credit card, and then order ID captured. Then there is at the rate before class and at the rate after class. Okay, so let's understand this also. So this is a class that is payment. What I want at the rate before class, okay, annotation, and I will say public void um, open browser, okay, or instead of this I'll say do login. So sys out code to login into application, okay, application, and then at the rate after class, okay, I can say public void do logout, okay, do logout, okay. So I'll say sys out code to logout from application, okay, this way, control shift O, fine. So what this before class will do, before class will execute this code first, do login, because it is before class, so this is the class level, okay. So this will get executed first, then your before method, okay, then your test case, this one, okay, then after method, again before method, credit card, after method, and in at last you will be having after class, okay. So just follow this one. See, before class, before method, at the rate test, after method, same pattern, and then lastly after class, okay. So this is one particular portion, before class and after class. Okay, let's run this. See, code to log in into application, and then code to log out from the application. This is before class and this is after class, okay. So this format or this sequence will be followed by this particular annotation. Now let me create one more class, okay, and then you will understand this concept clearly. So TestNG, create TestNG class. I'll say instead of new test, I'll say search, okay, search test case. And now I'm going to give the XML suite file name. So I'll say testng dot XML file, okay, testng dot XML file. I'll finish. Okay. So you see testng dot XML file got created over here. and your search .java is also created. In the same search class, I'll say check valid keyword, okay, with valid keyword you want to check. And similarly, at the rate test, uh, I want to go with public void check invalid keyword, okay, this way. Okay, let's write a simple sysout statement, and I'll say code to check search with valid keyword, okay. And similarly, code to check search with invalid keyword, okay. Now let's run this code and see. So this will, okay, this is also got executed successfully. Both the methods got executed successfully. Both are passed. But uh, we are not going to do in this particular fashion, okay, or in this manner. See, we will be creating many such classes, and every class would be containing different test cases. So we are not going to go at each and every class level and we have to run them. Okay, you won't go at this level. You have to go at this particular TestNG XML level. Okay, you have to go to source, and you can see right now it is having a test. Okay, having one class, that is WebDriver search. What I'll do, I'll copy this portion. Okay, I'll copy this portion and paste it over here. I'll give the name as I'll make it as payment. I'll make this as payment, and I'll make this test name as search. Okay, let's go with that. And over here I have to make it payment. Okay, payment. So what this indicates, guys, this is a suite file. Okay, this is an XML suite file having one particular test which is containing a class. This is the package name and this is the class name. Similarly, this is another test having one class, that is payment, inside the package WebDriver. Okay, and this is an entire test suite which we want to run. Okay, so now if I execute, so if I want to run both the classes, I have to execute this particular XML file. So I will right click over here and I will say run as TestNG suite. So I'm running a TestNG suite, not a single class. I'm running both the classes together as a suite. Okay, so now if you see the difference, see, code to check search with valid and invalid both got executed successfully, and then this entire portion is of your payment class, okay, which also got executed successfully, right? So these are two different classes which you executed successfully. And now if you refresh the project, okay, now if you refresh the project, and you can see this test output got generated. Okay, if you click on this emailable report, okay, this kind of report is generated wherein it says this is the functionality, okay, search class having two methods, valid keyword and invalid keyword, both got passed. Okay, for payment also passed. What are the methods? Credit card and debit card. Okay, this is the class name. So this is a kind of a simple output or emailable report you are getting. This will be saved in your drive only, and you can share it with your managers. Okay, but this is not actually the thing you are going to send. Okay, we are going to see one more different report, that is report ng, that looks quite better, and we are going to share that particular report. Okay, so right now just consider this as a report, but we are not going to use this. So there is a report ng, we are going to use that. I'll pick later. Fine. Now let's consider, I'll create one more simple class over here, that is a filter, and I'll explain the other annotation as well. So I'll say TestNG, create TestNG class, and I will give the name as filter. Filter functionality and finish. So you don't have to create XML file again and again. One XML file is created for one by while creating a class. That should be the case. Okay, you should not create XML file for while creating each and every class, every TestNG class. Okay, there should be only one XML TestNG XML file. Now I'll say check value or check what you can say, check with some kind of filter. So check with product filter. Okay, product filter, and so product filter. So sys out code to filter based on product name. Okay, product name. And then we can have another test case at the rate test. You can say public void check price filter. Okay, based on price. So price filter this way. So sys out. So actually, instead of this sys out, you should have your code over here, and the code will be similar. Like you will be finding the element using inspect, and then like clicking, typing. Okay, you'll be performing some actions on that. So that particular code will go over here. Okay, right now we are just understanding the flow. So code to filter based on. Okay, let's now what we will do, will say I'll copy this one. Okay, I'll copy this one and paste it over here. Okay, and I'll make it as filter. Okay, so you can have multiple classes also listed as part of one test. Okay, so I will name it as payment and filter, something like this. You can give any name. So what I'm doing, as part of this test, I'm including two classes, okay, as part of this particular test. Okay, now let's understand and run this code. First let's run the code and then understand how it works, and then we'll understand the other annotations. So now three classes will get executed. See, first it executed search. Okay, then this is filter. Okay, filter based on price, filter based on product name, and this entire one is related to your payment. But what if you want that this login, okay, login should happen at this level, or something like you should access or connect with the database at this level before this, and then database should get disconnected at this level. Okay, first of all we'll see with the login part. Okay, and then later on we'll go with that database. Okay. So what we'll do, so instead of before class, what we can say, before test. Okay, instead of before class and after class, we can say before test and after test, right? Why before test and after test? Because if you closely look at your TestNG XML, this is your class. So before class, after class works at this level. So before all the test cases of payment class, after class, after all the test cases of payment class, and before test, before all the test cases of both the classes, or as many classes you have written in this test, and after test, after all the test cases of these two classes, or as many classes you have written in this particular section. Okay, so we have made the changes over here, and let's save it, and now we run the testng xml. Okay, so now what should happen, login should happen first before filter also, and logout should happen after payment. See, first login happened, and then code of filter got executed, and then remaining portion, okay, of payment part, and then log out. Okay, that way. Now before doing all these actions, what we want, actually we want to open the browser and then close the browser also, right? The way we used to write WebDriver manager dot something, like. So for that, what we will do, we'll just say over here, okay, at the rate before suit, before suit, okay, and I'll say public void open browser, okay, and I'll say sys out code to open browser, and over here at the rate after suit, and I'll say public void close browser, okay, close browser. So sys out code to close browser, okay, control shift O. Now if you see your TestNG XML, both these test cases, okay, both this test are part of your suite, isn't it? So before suit will work at this level, after suit will work at this level, as in after all the test cases from both the test, or if you have another test as well, after all the test, after suit will run, okay. Similarly before suit will run before each and every test you have mentioned over here, okay, that way. So let's save it and run your TestNG XML. So right click and then run as TestNG suite. So now let's see the output. So if you see, code to open browser got executed successfully, that is at the very first level, and then code to close browser got executed at the very last part, and in between you have your search with invalid keyword, search with valid keyword, okay. Then this is test, okay, before test, this code got executed as it is part of at the rate before test, and this is after test, okay. And this is filter test cases, and these are payment test cases, okay, up till this part, okay. And this is your before method, after method, again before method, after method, okay. So now you should be very much clear with this part, right? So before class, after class of a particular class, then you have another class that is, say for example, filter. So you can have before method also again over there. Right now we have not used it, but you can have it all depends on your requirement and necessity, okay. So before class also you can, you want, you can keep it, okay, but this would be the flow, execution flow. And then before test will be at this level, that is like login, and after test that is log out, okay. This will work for at the test level. In your TestNG XML you have a test level, okay, that is a tag name test, this one. So at the this test tag, okay, which is comprising of payment and filter. So both the classes, okay, both the test, both the classes test cases, before that, before test, and after all the test cases of payment and filter, after test, okay, that way this will run before test and after test, similar to that before test and after test and the test methods. And this is like after suit, after each and everything. So we are using like close browser, and before suit, open browser. So basically you have to make sure you understand this particular structure, okay, and understand the execution flow of this annotation. This is very important, okay. You may not need each and every annotation in your program, okay, it's not needed, but it all depends on your requirement, okay, which annotation you want to use, that you can use based on this understanding. Okay, so this completes the first part of your TestNG. Okay, based on this, we will see some more portions like groups. Okay, and depends on methods. There are some other things as well. Then report ng, that we will see in another class, another session of ours. And yeah, so this is our part one for TestNG.